Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. Let's take a look at the energy on the 5th of July. All right. We have dream work. Very nice. Buck moon. Um, this feels like possibly we may have something that's been like on somebody's mind, maybe since the buck moon. Maybe this is something that has been churning for quite some time. It's a dream, it's an idea, it's a hope, it's a wish. What's going to happen with that? Just because somebody, has this on the forefront. By the way, the 21st could be an important day. Ooh, we have the devil. It could have to do with a Capricorn, could have to do with somebody who's been maybe obsessing about something. So maybe it's less dream work and more fantasy work. Knight of Wands. Okay, we're getting very passionate. So we definitely could have possibly a Capricorn, possibly a fire sign, Leo, Sag, or Aries, that's feeling a lot of passion and has been for a while, but they've been hiding it. We have Aries, double dose with that Fool and the Tower. Okay, this is feeling like somebody who's, we are going to say someone's been quite obsessed with an object of their affection, and there is collapsing energy, a collapsing possibly of ego, and then it's like somebody's going to go ahead and make their move. It's something I've been thinking about for so long. It's something I've wanted for so long. It's something that, what the heck am I doing holding back? I need to make the first move. My impression is that this is somebody who's wanted to make the move, but just didn't, maybe because they were, hoping somebody else would move toward them first, or, lots of times ego gets in the way, right? It's, ooh, 3 of Swords. Hang on. What is this about? This looks like it's a story of a masculine right now. Knight of Pentacles. Oh, is this somebody who has been, this could have been he was holding on to anger and desire for a really long time. And he's finally saying, it's not anger. It's not even desire. I've been hurt. I'm realizing, I'm making the leap to acknowledge how I actually feel about something. I've been devastated. I'm not mad and still, just wanting somebody. I'm actually really hurt. That's why I've been spying on them. I've been missing them. I think that this is a masculine who's coming to terms with how they really felt about something, and they were absolutely like, they build up these walls. I think that this is very relatable. I think that oftentimes when we're mad about something and acting like, I don't care, when really that's all we can think about, that's all we can talk about. I think that's kind of maybe the dead giveaway that we care a great deal, and we're actually more wounded than we are anything. When we talk to somebody and they immediately want to bring up some huge story about something that hurt them, somebody that hurt them, but they don't think they're hurt. They just think that they're, still kind of focused on that because that person's, such a jerk. And it's like somebody who listens to them rant could be like, I kind of think that you're actually very into them still. And it sounds more like you're hurt than you are calling out their bad behavior. It sounds like you're not able to admit how much you still wanted this, and maybe how much you're still focusing on it because you still want it even today. And really, you're very sad over this. I think this is a character is realizing, I've been hyper focused for a long time, and I realize now it's because I've been really sad about this. Sad about what? What happened? 5 of Cups, huge loss, huge loss. Maybe they think that somebody left them and chose somebody else. And it's like, I wasn't chosen. I'm one of the many that wasn't chosen. This is such a huge loss. This is something that they really wanted to be seen as very special. Page of Pentacles. This keeps feeling like they were told to get packing. They were told to move on. Even though they had tried to offer something, it's almost like, I guess it wasn't enough. 10 of Swords. Look, I don't really know if they were, this could be somebody who was just rejected at a job, and they're like, I didn't get the job. But I know whoever they hired isn't going to work out. And, with their idiots, I wouldn't work for that company anyway. When all the time it's like, I did want to work there. And it sucks because I feel like they looked at my resume and they said I wasn't good enough and they didn't want to hire me, which all of this is like somebody who's like looking for an insult, because lots of times we don't get hired for a job. Maybe the company couldn't have afforded to hire another person. Maybe, somebody else was a shoo-in. Maybe there was somebody more qualified, but that doesn't mean we suck. So looking for an insult, looking for an upsetting, reason is never a good idea. But now let's say, what if this is about love? They keep saying I am sad. I am desperately sad that it's over, possibly with this feminine. Now, in that case, perhaps the feminine did tell them goodbye. And maybe all this time they've acted like it didn't matter. Maybe they thought they could replace her. Maybe with that, they were very, very passionate about going and meeting other people that they couldn't have cared less about, all to try to forget her. And guess what? They're finally realizing it doesn't work. I can't forget her because honestly, it hurts so bad that she's done with me. Why do you think she's done with you? We've got a 9 of Wands in the reverse. Oh, it's not just that. He says, I think she's over me. Oh, so it hurts that you think she's okay without you. Okay, let's go to this deck. But why do you think it's over with the 10 of Swords? 4 of Coins, 7 of Swords. Well, I held back and I ran away from her. Well, then I would think that things would be over. Held back, lied to her, and ran away. Didn't tell her the whole truth. Offered her only as much as you were willing to offer. It wasn't enough, and you kept secrets. Or, I mean, he's admitting this bit. That's him on the cards. Palace of Wands, yeah, but I really, really, really loved her. I wanted to open my heart. Then why did you sabotage this? Because all I can see here is sabotage. 7 of Wands. Oh, did you want her to chase you? I wanted to push her away, give her only a little bit, and then really I wanted to love her a lot, but she was going to have to fight for me to bring down my walls. And I wanted her to do that. I wanted to run and she could chase me. And then she could prove that she's my 6 of Cups. I wanted to either break up with her, push her away, and then say, but I know she still loves me and I still love her. And at some point in time, we'll be back together and that'll prove she's never forgotten me. I'm the only one. That is setting up a nightmare scenario and a very weird way to try to reassure yourself that you're lovable. I'm sorry, I'm weighing in on that, but I don't see how that could ever be a nice feeling for anybody. I don't see how pushing away. Why did you push away? Really? Can we boil it down to just raw truth here? Page of Wands. I wanted to keep it very light, very much just a little ember. Maybe they thought it would be like more fun to have like a dramatic kind of like we're attracted to each other, but we don't really commit to each other. And we flirt and we get each other jealous and we build, but in the back of our minds, it's like, oh, it's always going to be you that I'm going to be with. Yeah. Look at this. It's so crazy. I wanted to keep it like it's just a page. Look, a page's amount of interest is almost nothing. But even behind him, there's the 4 of Wands. And then here we go with the 4 of Wands. It's like he wanted to take it really, really, really slow and keep it meaningless. And you notice the chess game. Okay, this person wanted drama. Well, darling, it looks like you got it. The drama, though, was you wanted to play out some kind of drama where you acted like you didn't want her when you really did. You wanted to hold back, give her crumbs while loving her like crazy, while wanting this to be, it's like they wanted a time apart where then two people could just long for each other, maybe still have some weird like element of like desperation and intensity of, but I only want you. And then someday they'd come back together and then it would be like, oh, you were always the one. That's super messed up. I'm sorry. Who am I to say what's messed up? I just think that that's super messed up. Queen of Swords called their bluff. Queen of Swords might have said exactly that. That's super messed up. I don't want to do this. I'm putting up a boundary with this nonsense. This doesn't feel nice. This doesn't feel warm. This doesn't feel good. Maybe she even said point blank, I don't think you're that serious about all this. What did you say? Queen of Swords, because he's saying she said something. Emperor, she said, I want an emperor. An emperor is not a page. An emperor doesn't play any games. An emperor knows just what he wants and he comes forward and he wants to be with me and he shows everything he's got, shows me his heart, shows me what our plan is together. I only have space in my life for an emperor and you are not being an emperor. So remember, he says she ended things with me and said that I wasn't enough. But you intentionally, you could have been enough, but you held back on purpose to play a weird game. And all this time you've been feeling like you're angry. Or let me ask, what have you been doing with that Knight of Wands all this time? Have you been out dating a ton of other people? King of Wands. The Knight of Wands to the King of Wands. 5 of Swords, 3 of Swords in the reverse. They definitely were denying that their heart was broken. They were more mad at her, so I got that part right. Mad, still really wanting her. I don't know. I said, were you out dating a bunch of other people? It's very possible that they were intentionally trying to go date other people and show other people a much better time, be much kinder, all the while being like, I don't miss you. See, I don't need you. Look at all these other great people. But all this time he's been spying on her anyway. What an ugly story. Oh, I don't like this. If that's what you were up to, it's either that or they were just feeling more like they were actually starting to grow up a little bit, but then still being really hostile toward her. Empress. You didn't go marry somebody else, did you? Did you marry somebody else? And now realize, what, my God, what have I done? Knight of Swords sideways. They may have. And they can't even believe what they did. Now they're devastated, saying, it's so crazy though, because they're still devastated saying, I know she got over me and she's moved on. This storyline looks like you married somebody else, but all the while still just wanted her, but were so bent out of shape that she wouldn't play your weirdo game. I don't understand this story. I've got to be honest. I'll put a trigger warning on it. The World card keeps saying, it's like for some reason they're realizing on July 5th that this is done. This is all in the past now. And what they have is the net results of what they did. If they chose to marry somebody else, I don't know though, because this is somebody in a wedding dress, but with that time, it could be that they're realizing now is the time that they would have been ready to marry her. Now that they're having these breakthroughs of, oh my God, but I played these games. She wasn't having any of it. She told me, I only deal with emperors, so you got to go if that's not who you want to be. And now this time has passed. I still keep feeling like if they dated other people, I don't even think they remember those people's names. If they married somebody else, it's so crazy because it's like they're so closed off to whomever they may have married. But this card makes me doubt that they actually married somebody. This card makes me think they wish now in this moment, like on the 5th, that they could be married to her. They could be at like some event, some function, and they're like, oh my God, I just wish she was here beside me. Why are we not married? Like, she was the one I wanted all that time ago, but she cut me off and wouldn't like do this weirdo game with me. And now I realize somehow I'm feeling it in my heart and soul that she's moved on. She's on a new trajectory. For some reason, why is the 5th like the day that he's realizing all this? 4 of Wands. Maybe he's picking up on some vibe that she's in love with somebody else, or there's just, sometimes a certain amount of time passes and then one day we just go, it's been a long time. With this 7 of Pentacles, it's been a long time he's been on the other side staring at her. There is something, I don't know if he's imagining like her having a love story with someone else, if he's just sure all of a sudden that she was his, like whatever, wife. She was his person. All of a sudden, maybe her words are sinking in also, the words that she said a long time ago, where she wasn't being mean. She was telling him, but I want somebody who wants to be in a long-term commitment. I don't want a page. And now he's like, I want to be in a long-term commitment. I want an emperor-empress relationship, which is what she said she wanted all that time ago. But did he hear it as, you're not enough, you're not an emperor, I'm kicking you loose? The thing is, even from his own admissions in this, he wasn't an emperor. He didn't want to be an emperor back then. So he wanted the games. And then someday he would be in a relationship with her. But in the meantime, he acted like, it doesn't bother me, so she won't deal with me right now. I don't care. I'm just pissed off at her that she put me in my place and said, you can't play games with me. You're an emperor or I don't deal with you. All I can say is this person seems to be boo-hooing for themselves. on the 5th that she's moved on, and they just know she's moved on. Ace of Pentacles is upright. It's definitely, it's been crickets for a really, really, really long time. Does he reach out to her? Does he try to talk to her and he gets nothing back? Is that the other reason there's sadness? 9 of Cups. I keep feeling like he just has this overwhelming awareness that she's fallen in love with somebody else. She's doing great. She's moved on. I don't know if it's that he's trying to reach out to her all of a sudden, or if it's just it maybe has struck him. She's definitely, maybe he's just fallen more in love with her, because he's all of a sudden King of Swords energy, looking at her as a star. She is way far away, way out of reach. She is, I think somehow it's like she is more lovely than before. I don't know if he looks at a photo of her, if there's some, we have a lot of spying, right? We also had that Page of Swords somewhere in here. We had him also wearing the face mask over here. I feel like he has never stopped spying on her. And I'm wondering if somehow she looks more beautiful than ever. He's more aware than ever that he could have been with her, but it's been such a long time. And especially with no communication, only with him still spying and still like hyper focused on her, but mostly being mad. And finally today he's sad. Finally on the 5th, he's sad. Sad that this is how this went instead. But again, all I can say is he made it go this way. Is it even real? Let's turn to the universe. Is it real that she's just like totally off in a new direction, in love elsewhere? We have 4 of Cups. I think the universe says she's been protected from this mess. This is a missed opportunity, but it's an opportunity that could not or should not have been taken anyway, because look, it would have been a nightmare. We have a 9 of Cups, and then we got that 10 of Wands. I feel like if he was only putting his own happiness first, and he liked games and he liked big drama, that was something that it's almost like if she is out of his realm at this point, the universe is like she was protected from this person that was still game playing. It's better if somebody is more selfish, because this can be a card of indulgence, and they need to deal with their own stuff, and they use, game playing or something, or just pursuing what they want at the cost of other people's emotions, instead of just like working on what they need to and saying, I really like you. I'm not ready to be in a relationship with you yet. I'm not trying to play games with you, but I got to keep things lighthearted. But God, I'm nuts about you. It's just, I can't open up too much right now. If he couldn't have said all that, then it's better that she didn't deal with him. And I really think that in this whole story, there was so much weird drama and game playing, even though it's like, but I loved her. Why couldn't she just wait for me? Let me hide the things that I didn't want to tell her about that I still needed to work on. Why'd she have to go and say, I'm not allowed to? Because that made me mad. So I really feel like this is somebody who's very childish and quite selfish. And even now that they're wounded that she's gone, they still don't really seem to be taking a whole lot of responsibility for what, you needed to tidy up yourself and handle her differently, handle the situation differently. Of course, she put up a boundary. And if you think she's gone now, the universe says, yes, you shouldn't have been with her because you weren't offering anything. You need to work on you first. All right, final message on all of this. We have the Chariot. Look, she's been slowly moving away from this. I almost think it's not too late if they have grown, or if there is something now that they're like, oh my God, I'm devastated. I think it's too late, but I at least need to tell her, I'm sorry, I wasn't mature enough yet. I'm sorry. Because they're no longer in that, that tower has happened. They're no longer in that crappy energy. So maybe they could still course correct it a little bit with her. She's moving slowly away. They still have a hot minute. All right, and a message for somebody whose birthday is the 5th. We've got the 10 of Swords. This is the end of a painful cycle and the beginning of a new exciting cycle. We even have Big Ben there. This could be a tip of the hat to London. Somebody could be planning a move, planning a trip. And it's like, oh my gosh, everything's about to shift and change for the better. There's light, there's romance, there's excitement. It's time for a character to have a better chapter of life. I feel like this next year is going to be much better for a character whose birthday is on the 5th. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.